Okay, what's up guys? Gray here, and today we are doing a demo review of clevernamehere. He's the gold level 3, and let's just, I guess, go through his positioning and just general gunplay. I guess how he works out, you know, lurk positions, and overall just, I mean, everything about a game, really. I think this game you end up losing it like 16 to 13, although you do top frag, and a lot of what you do is lurking, which is something I specifically want to go through in this pistol round, as well as I guess some of like the later rounds, especially on T. So you play pretty well here as far as like, I guess, you know, setting up crossfire with a teammate on train to make sure they can't push through that lower A main. Although what you kind of do here is like flip-flop between the sites, and I would honestly just pick one if you know your teammates are playing 2-2 and then like one mid, and you can be that one mid guy. I mean, you can just sit in the, you know, connector. You can really do whatever you want, considering there's already two teammates on each site defending, and you get skill here in this round. So you go for a pretty good scout buy next round with a full nades and a kit, and let's just see how you play that. Because usually I kind of fast forward through ecos because it's really just pointless to watch it. Because I mean, if you think of it, it's mainly a wipe, unless I guess it's rare occasion that sometimes teams get ecoed. And your teammates are using really annoying voice commands, which they should probably stop doing, which can't really control that, although, yeah. Let's see. I think you scope A main, which is good. I mean, you want to do something like this, you're doing it right. Just get intel if they cross, and your teammates can rotate A. So, and then I think what you do over here, since you get the call that your teammate heard, who was kind of sitting on B site, heard footsteps that were going to be. That's a nice frag there. I think you get another on gumball. Not your teammate gets that. Your positioning is definitely really good in the connector so far. I mean, this round and in this round, you know, you're alternating sides. You're making sure they're not doing sort of like a lurk push. And overall, I mean, this is a good round. Although it wasn't eco, and the last two guys have like weak pistols, and one of them has head armor somehow. I don't know why you'd buy that, but a bit of a waste of money, to be honest. So let's just skip that. You win this round, I guarantee. Yep. So you're gonna be going for the M4 because I think one of your teammates dropped one, and pretty sure you end up taking it like either through Ivy or A again. Yeah, I think you go like A first couple of rounds through this like connector area. Which, yeah, you jump up on here, you feel that jump. Yeah, this is the right round. Okay, so this is a good smoke right here, I wanted to say. This is like, I mean, it's a perfect smoke. What you want to do is just completely block out their ability to push for the first, you know, couple of seconds of the round, as long as you can. And I honestly would have thrown it a little bit later, just because nobody has that much speed, unless you're talking about like Foon or Lolu being able to just B-hop all the way across the world to get to a site quickly. But you're not playing against either of them, thankfully. So what you do here, though, is good and connector. Although I think one of these guys ends up almost catching you off guard, but you kind of recover and back off, which was a good move. Although, honestly, I'd never push like this when you know they're pushing onto site, because you will get dinged some way or somehow 9 out of 10 times. And this guy gets caught with his pants down, although your aim is something that definitely needs to be worked on. But that's alright. I mean, you know, you definitely have the crosshair placement, especially when you're talking about holding a sight or holding an angle. I mean, you have it down. It's just that, you know, a lot of your spray pattern and one tapping and headshot ability sort of comes later on when you practice more. And what you're doing here is good. You know, still watching the bomb, but just backing off so that you don't get caught off in a really dumb spot. And you do get taken out there, but your teammate gets the trade and picks up your M4. So I'd say that was a pretty successful round. And I'm pretty sure this is their buy round. It's their first buy round. And they have really crappy buys just because they kept tilt buying like silvers on the first couple of rounds, although you guys have a very strong buy, and I think one of your guys buys it's either a scout or an MP7. Yeah, MP7. But I think you end up playing either, no, you play connector again, I guarantee. And honestly, if there was one thing I could say, it's that sometimes they just know where you are, and they'll pre-nade you, pre-scope you, do whatever they can to sort of like figure out where you are and to get the health advantage on you, because I mean, since you've been playing it rather well, they're going to want to take you out initially. And your teammate does a really stupid push, although it's a good frag you got. Although I honestly would not push them like that, especially if you know it's a buy round, because they could be just holding an angle with an op and you could get like lucky flicked. Although this lurk is really good, which you did, making no noise going up the ladder. That's excellent. And getting this kill here ended the round, basically, in your favor. So overall, good lurk, good plays. Maybe just more aim and crosshair placement when you're going around corners and checking them. So good job. Let's see here. Yeah, it's another enemy buy. And let's just skip through this. You just go to the same spot. Overall, I mean, you know, you're definitely forced to be reckoned with on A, although they're going to be going for the fast Ivy push with bomb, and I think your teammate is holding a really weird angle. Like he kind of wide peeked. No, he did a thing like wide peeking and like close, you know, holding the corner. I don't know if he was jiggle peeking it or something, but I watched this demo from his perspective, like this round, because I was actually curious what he was holding earlier, and I don't know, like, he held this really weird. But your teammate gets a nice 2-piece. He gets taken out, and making sure they're not, you know, lurking in B or something, and you can't get totally shut down from connectors is definitely what you want to do here. Although I honestly think if you would have just held onto the site, you might have gotten a couple more kills, which is, you know, I mean, they're just kills, I guess, but hey man, that's what this game's about. So let's just go through this again. This might be the round where you go upper. I'm not sure. I think it's later on in the half. Yeah, you go Ivy here with this other dude. And this is a good smoke, although when you know there's a guy watching Ivy, it's really not good to watch it with him. You want to just have one person on each general area when you're talking about positioning. You want to make sure that it's like 2-2-1, always. 2 on each site, and one person sort of in a lurk role, which you play, I'd say, like, you know, 1 out of like 5 times, which is still good, because I mean, when you do it, you're effective, like on pistol round. Although what you do here, I think you end up like, yeah, wide peeking this angle, and I'm surprised this guy didn't like fully catch you out before this, although you just kind of get crouch peeked out there. So that's kind of a shame, but I mean, good try. You know, it's just kind of learning where people come from is a lot about where you're going to position yourself on CT, and the sooner you sort of get wise to that, the sooner you become a better player. Now I think you go for the double op, yeah. And they're going to go for the A push, like a straight up A main push, which I watched last time I looked at this demo. And you missed kind of an easy shot here, although like I said, I mean, it's all about aim, and a lot of your positioning isn't really going to matter if your aim isn't up to date with being able to take out people who peek you. Although getting the intel is very important as well, and that was kind of an unlucky thing there where he just shoulder peeked you and you didn't really have time to react. But it's good that you didn't give your position away. Again, I guess because they, you know, you leave them guessing, they really don't have anything to do. Although what I don't like your team doing here or whatever is just stacking A so hard after they see the bomb. I mean, you do this really well by just sort of like, you know, peeking upper, making sure they're not going, I guess, like watching Pop Dog or something, and then just rushing out on a B and getting a free plant, because your team basically watched the bomb get dropped in inner, like A main, and then they didn't do anything about it. They just kind of let the guys live and didn't push through. Although I think one guy does push through, but he gets taken out in a really stupid, sort of like fruitless push, which is kind of what your teammates do the entire game, but you do them rather well. I mean, the way you lurk, this jumping here is, you never want to jump. I mean, you totally gave away your position, and you're lucky someone wasn't in bathrooms, I guess, to kill you. I don't know what you're doing here, although it doesn't get you killed, which is good. And like I said, you never want to be in the same place as your teammate. It's just not a good idea. Because, you know, when you're going on a retake like this, it's always good to make sure that you have a different position so you can set up a crossfire. It's like crossfires are essential on retakes, because people will always peek because they're, you know, oh, maybe he's defusing now, or oh, maybe he's peeking, I want to get that free kill. Especially in low ranks, but picking up the M4 here was the right choice, although you end up losing this round just because you win a nice 1v1, although you really just should have gone for cover before watching him like this, and this nade fails drastically, but that's just stuff that comes with time playing, and you should have honestly just got onto the site quicker and you would have won that round, because the last guy was AFK and you just ran out of time. So an unfortunate death, but an honorable one nonetheless. Now, the team against you guys is going to have a very good buy, I believe, unless that guy just goes for an SMG with 11k. No, he gets, I think he got like kicked off, or you guys got a bot. on the enemy team, so this should have been a pretty easy round, although he ends up rejoining. So yeah, that's kind of weird, considering he got kicked and then he rejoined. That's kind of a glitch that's happening. So what you do here, it's basic really. This round was a blowout anyway, because I mean, you lurked and you won the round. So let me think here. I think this is the round that you go for the upper push. Although your positioning, I think most of the time, no, this is the time that you failed that smoke on Ivy. And well, it wasn't necessarily a fail, but if you're throwing a smoke like this, like one that's that deep, you want to boost over it most of the time. Although they're on a really bad buy, so you can really do whatever this round. I know it's a blowout, or I don't even think it is. I think they win the round. I think they end up ecoing you, just because of their ability to outposition you. And I think one guy, this is a really good spot to play, by the way. One guy ends up taking bomb B, and then they end up just coordinating a push through Pop Dog onto A. They take out this guy because he was in a really stupid spot. He's trying to knife them or something, shit like that. You know, pushing T spawn's what you want to do here when you have seen the bomb. But this guy, I actually really like his position in this cave Valiant, because he really could have caught you off guard. Although I don't know why the hell he threw the flash. That was just the stupidest thing ever in my mind. Although this lurk that you're doing is really good, although you never want to jump up onto stuff or, you know, run like this. I mean, you always want to walk. You want to check a lot more of your corners, because, you know, a lot of the time there'll be someone lurking. And this is a good frag to get here. Put it back into a 2v1 in your favor. And you know bomb is down. One guy takes you out, although he ends up getting a trade, I believe. Or actually, no. This is a pretty elaborate 1v1 that goes on here. Jose tries to flank, but this cape guy ends up winning it with like 24 health, and it was honestly pretty unfortunate because it was a 2v1, although, you know, you can't really do much about that. Your teammate played it stupidly. His lurking was terrible, and you should have just gone for cover and waited for a push. But you're gonna have the enough money per se to go for full nades and kit, and the rest of your team, not so much. And honestly, I don't really agree with picking up the op when your teammates are on such bad eco. Especially when one had to go for a scout with no armor. I mean, it's just kind of, it's unfortunate. Although, yeah, that's where you push up with the op. Again, good smoke, nice deep smoke. And you know this is an Ivy push. This is what I wanted to talk about actually. You know there are guys coming through here. I mean, the teammate is called out, you hear them, they're freaking going, guns blazing. And you never want to put yourself in a situation where it's just like a, you know, one and done sort of spot where, per se. And you'll be able to get one kill, although you'll get instantly traded, because then it gets put into a 3v4, which is a lot harder than a 4v5, if that makes sense. Especially when they're on site. So I would have played connector. I would have utilized your nades, because I think you die here without throwing a single nade except for that smoke on the B, which is kind of pointless since they ended up pushing. Although, nades. So I guess this just plays out as you whiffing a couple shots, getting a bit trigger happy, and your team loses. So that's kind of unfortunate, although, you know, work on that positioning, work on getting cover with the op, work on analyzing your nades, work on playing to crossfire, just do everything you can in your physical power to not only assist your teammates, but sort of catch the enemy off guard as much as you can. And I think you have kind of a half-assed buy here. One guy's on like a full USV with no armor. And one of these guys is deep. Yeah, this is the failed smoke. Well, this is a pretty good one-way considering not only if you boost over it, but if you're in this corner, you can see their legs before they actually see you, which is what happens here. In a couple seconds, this guy pushes through Ivy Hall, and then you end up taking him out. And this is a really good spot, although honestly, like, in an alternate universe when that guy wasn't there, this guy that you just killed, you could have pushed onto site, maybe flashed yourself in, like you have one flashbang in HE, and you could have just wreaked havoc. And this was a really bad decision, giving away your spot like that. Although you do get a lucky kill, which is great. And it's a 1v2. And your teammate loses the round again. So like I said, in an alternate universe you would have won that round, although unfortunately we live on the Earth and not on the planet Zorgon. So we are going to have to live with the fact that you lost that round there. Although good positioning nonetheless, you got a kill, and that's all you can be expected to do, to be honest, as a functioning teammate, is to get one kill and then maybe die, or maybe get 2 kills. Or 3 or 4 or 5. But, good way to play that. And I think this time you go for a really weird pop dog push. I'd never do this just because one guy's always going to be watching the ladder, as he is now. And especially going up the ladder so slowly. When you have a UMP, you might as well just like use a flash if you even have one, and just totally go for it. Go full guns blazing Rambo mode, because You could have been sitting in a corner next to Pop Dog and probably gotten 2 kills by those guys right there that were pushing from where you died. And you lose this round as well. So that's kind of unfortunate, although that's how the cookie crumbles. And I think you guys end up doing a really weird buy here. Yeah, you do like a UMP, P90, like 5.7, I don't know, it's kind of effed up. Although you save, which was the smart move, although it's a USP round, you end up losing it again. So there's really not too much to talk about, except when you have a USP or something, if it's a save. I mean, the way you pushed A main when it was smart. I mean, sometimes you catch people off guard. And this, I do have to point out, you never want to cross when there's a way that an Auber can just outpeak you at mid, and you kind of got effed over. Just because of, well, that very fact, and I don't know, there's really not too much to say about that. Although if you would have crossed back where your teammate is right here, and sort of gone through this little hallway, la-di-da-di-da, and sat in that Ivy spot, you would have probably killed 2 people right here. Although, never give your position away as well, when you're in a really good sort of camping spot. So let's see. It's the last round, you guys are on a pretty crappy buy. You go for another weird push, but to be honest, there's really not much you can do considering you have basically nothing. You have a pretty bad buy, and you just push really, I don't know, in a dumb fashion, and some guy just kind of crouch bikes you and gets you. So that was kind of unfortunate, but to be honest, I mean, a lot of what I'm saying, I don't mean to, like, you know, hurt anybody's feelings. It's just when you push, you want to always make sure that you're pushing in like a non-aggressive manner. You want to make sure that you always have the advantage. You want to make sure you always use your flashes. You want to make sure you always use your nades. You know, there's a lot of little different like finesses you need to analyze in your own play and your teammates' play to be able to hold sites. And pushing is not necessarily one of them, especially when you have 5 people all pushing at once and you just leave a site totally open, which happened like 1 or 2 times. And this is what really effed me up. That guy who just knifed you lost the pistol round. I mean, sorry for the spoilers, but they lost the pistol round for you, this JX10 guy, because when you were in that 1v1 with the guy, here, you know, let's just skip this. This is all pointless. You get a nice kill here lurking. That guy just pushes like an idiot. You end up pushing A from connector because the bomb's down. It's a 2v2 right now. What I want to point out is that, look right here, this is great positioning. This guy ends up, I think he kind of sees you, but you see him, and you end up getting the frag on him, which is excellent. It's 2v1. Although, look, you have 78 health. And the P250 only does like 16 or something per bullet when you have armor. And look, you get into a good fight with this guy. Although you would not have died if you had, you know, that 24 more health that he took away from knifing you in the beginning of the game. So none of that was your fault at all, but you lose a really, 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 really unlucky 2v1 rather, just because of that douchebag knifing you. So it's a shame, but that is Nova, I suppose. So what you do here by saving is good, since you didn't get the bomb plant. It's a smart move, and since you got a couple kills, you got a little bit of money in the bank. And since you push out here, try to get some intel, you just get kind of sandwiched and taken out by 2 people, which is expected since this is such a dry eco. But going for the information game is always great. I think I actually might have just effed this up, yeah. What round are we on? We are in the T side half, which is like all the way over here. Here, hold on, I'll just cut this out. Okay, here we go again. I have fixed the pathetic camera work by myself. And it looks like you're going to be buying the Galil. And the enemy team is on something like 3 rifles, not 3 M4s. I don't know why that guy just ditched a FAMAS and Gumball didn't pick it up. But, I don't know. I never know. I cannot be inside the minds of these people. And it's going to be a really quick Ivy push from you guys. Good on you. Although, if there's a guy on the other end here, you have been totally effed. And that was just a poor flash, to be honest. And I think you guys just get totally, like, lucky with these picks. And you would have got mowed down if there was someone there with, say, an AWP or an M4. In the same cubby that you were playing next to Ivy in the round before. And I think you end up losing this round. Because, I think your teammate loses a pretty unlucky 1v1. Although, playing this sort of role with your teammate, that unicorn guy, as well as JX standby just lurking in the sort of back A-hall train area, is what you want to do, and you get a nice trade. So, good job. Although, honestly, you get kind of caught with your pants down by this guy, and it's a 1v3, so there's really not much you could do, but being able to sort of out-aim them will always win you the clutches, and that's unfortunately what happened, is they out-aimed you. So 7-11, it's a pretty close scoreline here, and I think you guys end up winning quite a few rounds after this, and you're on kind of a pretty piss poor buy, to be honest. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I think you end up picking something like the Tech 9 up, and see, this is what I want to look at. Like, when your money situation is this good, I'll just pause it. Like, in the round before, when it was, you know, like 7-11, 8-11, whatever, you want to make sure that you always buy with your team, and you want to make sure that people, you know, you need to communicate that people will drop for you, and you want to use your teammates as an asset to, I guess, for your own personal gain, because you can't really get any kills with, like, a Glock if the rest of your team's on AKs, so you gotta, you know, communicate and, like, shout out, hey, I need a gun. And I mean, if someone has that much money, you just take advantage of them. You know, ask them for a drop, ask them for like a good pistol or at least or something. But communicate is what I'm trying to say, especially when you're in a lurk role like you've been doing on this T side. Okay, so what you're doing, picking up the op, is a good choice because they're going to be on pretty crappy eco buy. I think one of them has like an MP7, the rest just stay on pistols, which is beyond me. Oh, never mind, they actually go for a drop. Alright. Not as bad as I thought. Although, like, P2K armor, really? I don't know, I would do something like that, but... Like I said, I can't be in their minds. But doing this sort of like counter flank position with the op, or counter, not necessarily counter flank, but more of a counter lurk, is good. And I'm really surprised that guy didn't take you out, but you whiffed that shot, which is alright. I mean, we all have shots. Although, I really wish you'd put your crosshair a little bit further down, just because, I mean, sometimes people kind of, you know, either crouch PQ or they jump PQ. And a lot of it's being able to flick with the op, so I guess it's all personal preference, so it makes you feel more comfortable. And you guys get sandwiched super hard here, and this is just unfortunate, because you get left kind of high and dry in a 1v4, and I think that's about it, actually, for this round. Yeah. Although 9-12 still pretty easy to bring back, considering you guys get a pretty lucky win somewhere along the lines. I think it's like 10-13 is when you start picking up rounds. Although you are going to be on a pretty weak buy with a Glock armor. I think you get a P250 or something, or at least a tech. Oh, your teammates totally denied you, man. And you know what's sad is I think they could have afforded to buy you as well. That Moral or JX Dan. But that's it, I guess. Buying the Tech 9 was definitely the right decision though. And what you're doing here by jiggle peeking is great. You want to get that intel. You really wouldn't have known if this guy pushed that far up, and he has a FAMAS anyway, so... what you're doing here is smart, by sort of not really committing somewhere to a site in particular, although more of like a lurk roll. And what you want to do here is walk all the time, because if this guy had any decent headphones or aim, which he doesn't, he probably would have taken you out rather easily. You do get an M4, which is good, and it's a 2v2 again, and I'm pretty sure you guys end up losing this just because you're in a 1v2 and this guy up on top of the train in A ends up blocking you from picking up the bomb. So it's a pretty standard round, just so you go. I mean, you guys have hardly any money at all yet, you still go for the force. I think this is just the round where you kind of get pointlessly taken out. Like, I think it was later on in the round, it wasn't like right when you try to entry. Although that was kind of a failure for a flash. Oh no, that was a decoy, never mind, sorry. And when you're playing Pop Dog like this, Pop Dog, you never want to peek like that and use this flash and just go kind of up and down the ladder and kind of fail climb is what I'm trying to say. You want to either walk down it and crouch and make no noise, or you just want to go straight down and flash like you do here. You do get caught by this one guy though, I think. No, you don't. Okay. Different round, different place. Although watching this flank is essential. I mean, what you're doing here is great, I think. It's smart too. Although eventually, I think he just won the round. Guy doesn't outflank you or anything. He gets dropped down to 1 HP and then he just fails to save the gun. Yeah. So good round overall. Good job getting that lucky dink on the guy in A from Pop Dog. And yeah. Oops. RIP. Let's just see if we can play this again. Sometimes the whole GeoTV thing lags out. I'm semi-new to it, although, to be honest, I mean, you played that rather well as far as, I mean, where you were playing, how you know, figured out how to position yourself so that you'd get in, like, kind of a place where the guy would be pushing you instead of you pushing him, and I totally effed up with the rounds. There we go. Let's go speedy for a bit. Because, yeah, I mean, overall, I really think what you're doing, besides throwing that smoke, is smart. I mean, you kind of counterflank here. Or counter push is what I'm trying to say, because the guy probably could have pushed you into that ramp with this PT-50 and caught you guys off guard, although he didn't, which was great. You prevented that. That was a nice pick onto the guy next to the train as well. And watching the flank here is essential, though this is what I don't like. You waste the smoke on a pretty pointless place, because, I mean, they're going to push through that regardless, because the bomb is ticking, basically. But going up this ladder and sort of trying to catch their flanker off guard is a good idea, but I honestly wouldn't have made this much noise, and I wouldn't have sort of given away your position as easily. But you do end up losing this round. I'll just spare you the humility. 10-14, so not doing too well, although your economy is definitely in a moderately healthy state, except for this idiot who buys an auto. That really pissed me off first time around watching this, although it's really whatever. Let's look here. I think this is where you flash down Pop Dog, which you do a lot, which is good, just because it prevents a push. As a decoy, excuse me. Although this is where you make sure nobody, you know, sort of pushes here, and you can actually wallbang that little wooden area, and you would have gotten the kill there instead of Spooky, and he wouldn't have been dropped down to such low health. Although he still gets one, which is really weird. But this was a good play by you, just getting that kill, getting onto the site, and always get the bomb down really quick, regardless, or you know, regarding whether or not you can put yourself in a position to get more frags, because you end up winning this round, which is good, of course, because it's in a post plant and you play it rather well. Although you can get flanked from both left or right side, and you want to make sure you're communicating with your team so that you know where some guy's coming from, like where he's playing, and so that you don't kind of F up. And get sandwiched or caught with your pants down, which is very scary. This guy gets dropped down to 1 health, and this is actually really hilarious what happens. Like, where you're watching with your crosshair, it's like a magnet, like it's just repelling him. Like, I think you spot him out here, and then you just look right away as he peeks, and the timing is perfect, and he has 1 health, and I think you get taken out, but it's just the irony, and it's the pain. But you definitely want to take your time with those shots, especially when your teammate calls out he's on low health. But that's the round. And you won it, so great job. And you're gonna be on a good guy, yeah, a good buy here as well. So good job, you know, with that round before. Although definitely take your time when you're aiming, especially, you know, in a post plant, because you never know if the guy has a kit or not, and it's just better to play it safe. So your teammate sort of like plays with the auto, and I really don't like how he plays with it. I think he just rushes straight up, like down A halls, and just kind of goes for the entry frag, and he gets taken out. I think. No, he doesn't. I think we get traded. No. Okay, they don't get taken out at all. What am I thinking of? But overall, the economic decisions by your team probably made you lose the entire game. I would have honestly thought that if you would have ecoed maybe twice on the CT side, you could have picked up 2 more rounds at least and got it to 9-6 or even 10-5. And like I said, knowing the wallbang spots is it's all game sense. It's all, you know, the amount of time you spent in this game, and you get outflanked super hard here. And this guy just goes right through Pop Dog, and instead of watching that sort of ramp per se on B, you want to watch Pop Dog. You want to make sure they're not flanking, because that guy just basically shut down the entire round. Even though it was in a 3v4, I mean, it still would have been winnable. I get the PT-50 here, which again, man, you can't force buy as much, especially when your positioning solely relies on how much money you have and what guns you have, because I'm not going to position myself in mid when I have an op compared to if I have a shotgun, you know? But I'm sorry, I just put my mic. Overall though, I mean, you've been playing this rather well, I do have to admit. With your entry frags, with your lurking, and right here there's really not much you could do since you're on a P250, although I'll basically just save you the trouble. You get caught out here by a guy with an M4 and Pop Dog, and you need to definitely check your corners more if you're going to be lurking with such a weak gun. Although overall, I mean, good idea, good try. Well, let's go on to the next round. That's where it sort of starts getting down to the wire, like economically as well. Because you went around, you lost a round, and then you won another round. So you're only at like $3,200, and it cost you a lot of money to win that round. So you're going to be on kind of a weak buy with UMP. Although Jose Vindas or whatever could have dropped you, which is a shame, because he didn't. So he's a scumbag. Especially for buying that auto. That was just so stupid as hell. You probably never need eco again in your life if he would just keep his 12k. And you got a really stupidly lucky ding right there. You should have died there for sure. Although, well, you got the kill, and that opened up the round for you guys to win it. And that dumb push from that guy really freaking just penalized his team. And I gotta say, that's exactly what you don't want to do. Although you're positioning here, you could just completely go straight down since you know your teammate's there and he got down there safe. So I don't know, just small stuff like that, wasting time and I guess getting onto sites quicker. Although, again, I don't really know what you're doing here. I think you guys were rather indecisive when picking a site, which was kind of a shame. Although I think Jose went off to watch the flank, and you go for the glow. And this guy gets dinked like hell with a Mag 7. And you guys end up going down Pop Dog and getting killed, which was kind of a shame. Although you really want to just either commit to the push or just, you know, flash down and commit to it, or just not go down at all. Because when you slow peek on a ladder, you can't just whip out your gun while you're on a ladder and Rambo, you know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah, so the guy goes up Pop Dog, and I think you guys end up winning this somehow. Because your teammate GX10 was on a really good lurk. He caught the guy off guard, and that was what mattered. So you win the round, and this is kind of the final countdown. Your eco is pretty damn bad. GX10 can afford an AK. I think everybody ends up getting a semi-decent buy, although it's a really painful thing, the economic system, because you get caught off. You get caught off guard one round, you lose, you win one, then you lose it again. You got a double eco. It's really a vicious cycle, especially when you're on T side. So this Ivy lurk really doesn't go too well. You end up losing the round, of course, and you end up dying rather early on by this guy who was either on connector or back Ivy, like this dude right here, QG. Although it is kind of a shame, because this was a good idea, because checking that corner and that cubby is something you always want to do. Yeah, so you get shot in the back here. And that's kind of just the point where alert gets shut down, and that's just the game. And it's kind of a shame. Although overall you had really good positioning. Your aim, of course, needs working on, although that happens with game sense, and a lot of the pre-nades and the wall bangs are something that a lurker needs to know about. So I do have to say, though, you definitely show a lot of potential with your positioning and your ability to analyze where the enemy team might be. Although checking your corners is definitely a big part of that. But overall, thanks for letting me review your demo. My name is Gray, and yeah, so see you guys later.